Hi everyone, welcome to the tutorial for Google Drive. Hopefully this will be helpful to all of you that are familiar and not quite so familiar with the Google Drive suite. So I'm going to start off with just really quickly walking you through the steps of accessing the folder that I have shared with you, and then give you just a quick play-by-play on how to create documents and utilize this resource. So first off, I am in my Gmail account right now. Please disregard how many emails I have that are unread. This is kind of my dumping ground email that's a backup to my regular Alaska email account. But that account has emails that has personal information. We don't want you all to see that. So you all should have gotten an email from me that was an invitation to collaborate on a Google Drive folder. It should have looked something like this, and your folder name would have been an X-Men character. So it might be Cyclops or Rogue or whatever your group name is. So if I go to this email, and this is how I'll want to start, I am going to go ahead and open up the email. And so the first thing that I see when I open that up is I'm in the folder. You can see right here I'm in the folder. My folder's title is sample folder. And I see 3 documents within the folder. And if I want to open one of these documents, I just double click on it. So I will start with the start here because that is where you should start. And it'll open in a new tab. And this document has some instructions about what you should do first off with your group. So start adding some information about yourself. I'll let you read through that on your own. Now with the Google Doc, what's so valuable about this resource is everyone can jump on and edit the document, and it updates in real time. So for example, if I wanted to add, and I was going to put my information in here, anyone else who this document was shared with would also be able to see that update. In fact, if there were multiple people looking at this document at the same time, it would actually have little icons that let me know that. And sometimes you can even see other people's cursors in different areas on the document, adding to the document all at once. So this is a really valuable tool when you're working as a group. So you can have one document, everyone can add to it, and it gets updated quickly right away for everyone. So you can add directly onto the document, and really think of this is what's called a Google Doc. Think of it like a Word document. It does basically all of the same functions, and you can see all of that here. Right? So I'm going to go back to the original folder, and I'm just going to go ahead and close out of this document right now. Now I'm back to that original folder. Let's say that I delete that invitation email that I used to link to here. So one of the ways that you can access Google Drive no matter what, I'm going to go ahead and X out of the folder for a minute. If you go to this square up here, see this little box, and click on it, you can go directly to Google Drive. Now, sometimes it will ask you if you want to download it onto your computer. You don't have to. It's not required. So now, as I go into my Google Drive, what we see here is I'm in my drive, and I don't see anything called sample folder, which was the title of that folder, in here. The reason for that is because I didn't create it using this account. So if I go to shared with me right here, I will see that folder now. So here's that folder that I accessed through my email a couple minutes ago. One thing that's really easy to do, if you'd like, you can right-click on here and just add this folder to your drive. So if I click here and say add to my drive, now if I go to my drive, here it is. And I can see that folder now. So this makes it easier to access just at any point. You don't have to worry about having that email. Now it's in your drive. You have access to this folder. And if you look at this folder, you see there's a little icon here. That's because this folder is shared. All of your folders should say that as well. It'll tell you who it's shared with up here. Now, anything that you create in this folder, as long as you are inside your group's folder, everything will be shared with your group members. So if I wanted to create another document, I would go to New, and let's say I just want to create a document, I'd go to Doc. It'll make sure I want to put it in the shared folder. I click OK. And now I've created an untitled document, and I'm just going to name this sample. Then I could type in here, add whatever information I needed to. And when I close out of that, now we see it's right here within the folder. Now, Google Docs, or Google Drive, I'm sorry, has a lot of excellent resources. Not only can you create documents in here, but you can also create Excel spreadsheets, basically, is what a Google Sheet is. And Google Slides, I'm going to click on one of those. That is Google's version of PowerPoint. So it's slides, you can create slides in here. It has all sorts of backgrounds. It's wonderful. And anything I add within my folder will go, or anything, as long as I'm in that folder, it'll go in here, and then everyone who has access to this folder can see anything I put in here. Now, the other thing that you can do if you'd like to is you can upload a document. So if you, let's say, had a photo or a graph that you wanted to upload, all you have to do is go to File, Upload, and you can put it right into this folder. And it can be any form, like a PDF or a JPEG. Any of those will work. So those are just a few resources that are available within the Google Drive suite. If you'd like to organize your information for your group, you can create a folder within a folder. You just hit New Folder right here. I'll call this Sample 2. And here it is. See, and it's still all within the original folder. That's what's key to this. What you don't want to do, and I'm going back out to my Drive right now, what I don't want to do is start creating a document here. Because if I created a document here, it would not go into my Google folder that is shared with my group members. So that's a really key component that I need to emphasize. Make sure that you are within your Google folder when you're creating documents. Once you are in a document, we'll go to the Start here again. Again, you can add to it as you'd like. You can also add comments, and the comments, your group members, anyone else who has access to the document will actually be able to see when you add a comment. So let's say I want to make a note. I can comment there, and then that allows our group to have feedback with one another as we're working through a document. And you can do that with a Google Doc, you can do that with a Google Slide, any of those are possible. And then if you've maybe talked about it as a group, you can then hit Resolve, and it goes away. So that's the basics of navigating Google Drive. And again, I can't emphasize enough, you really do need to make sure you're adding any documents that go in here into the folder that was shared with you so that everyone has access to it. Now in this folder, real quickly, some things that you will see. So I'm going to throw those samples I made right into this folder. And now if I look here, there's a Start Here section. Make sure you start there, read the prompts, put in the information that I've asked for you to put in. I've also got the instructions for the group project. I went over this on Blackboard. I added a PowerPoint that went over this, but this is just another document to have here for you. And then the last thing I have in here right now for you all is a copy of your contract template. So if you click on this, your group can actually add right to this document. And I've tried to make it easy so that you all don't have to reinvent the wheel. What I'm looking for in a group contract, and I'll talk a little bit more at length about this in a separate tutorial posted on Blackboard, but as you all are working on your contract, go ahead and input your information right here. So if you guys had goals you wanted to put in, I would put goal 1. Goal 2, etc. You can add directly onto this document. It's meant to be used that way for you. And that goes for any template that I provide to you all. If I provide it on here and make it editable, then you all are welcome to edit it directly in here. Right. So that's the basics of Google Drive. I'm going to really quickly walk you through the steps to accessing it one more time. So if I am logged into my email, I just go to the square up here. I click on it, go to Drive. Now, for a lot of you, initially your folder will be in the shared with me. And then you can also add it, I'll go back to that, you can also add it to your drive by right-clicking and move to My Drive. Now, going in, here it is again. As long as I am inside that folder, anything I create in there is shared with anyone that the folder is shared with. And it's important that you all make sure you put the documents in there, not only so your group members can see everything, but also so that I have access to it as well, so I can provide you feedback. Okay, so that's the basics of Google Drive. I'm sure that Google also has wonderful tutorials about utilizing it, but these are the things specific to our class that you might be using. Okay, enjoy!